I just want to start out by saying mistakes have been made. All right, welcome back to Live for Dead Garage. We're actually going to work on this thing. So I've got a firewall for it from HotRod Dynamics. 4-inch recess. It's also supposed to work with rain gear wipers, which gets rid of that vacuum deal, and vintage air. Vintage air. I wonder if I'll ever put air conditioning in anything. 4-inch recess, supposed to give me plenty of room for the big block. There's really nothing wrong with this firewall. So maybe I'm wasting my money and time. I don't know. Never done one of these. It was pretty big surgery for me. I mean, did the Impala floors, but you can't see them. So, but I've done a bunch of reading and looking at Google images and such, and posted on one of the Facebook pages, the Tri-Fi Facebook pages, and everybody recommended this shape, this design, and several folks recommended the HotRod Dynamics firewall. So, and they're local. They're like an hour drive from me, up in Lenore, North Carolina. Not bad at all. So went and picked that thing up. That guy, the owner, was very helpful. Showed me 2 cars. So yeah. But when I posted on the Facebook page, a guy, Jason Walker, has sent me almost a how-to in Facebook Messenger on how he did his, and some tips on making sure you get this stuff where it's supposed to be, and also if I run a Hydro Boost setup, some tips on these inner mounting holes might land too close to that actual edge. So more than likely I'm just going to follow exactly what he said. It obviously worked for him, so we'll just copy him. I don't necessarily know if I'll run power brakes of any sort, either vacuum or Hydro Boost. My plans were just a regular old manual master cylinder. Seems to always work for everything else. So, but who knows? I would rather do it his way and have plenty of room than not have plenty of room and then have to fiddle around in this radius or whatever. So step 1, I got the plasma cutter. I'm just going to follow along. Now this thing goes clear up to the top edge here. The guy at HotRod Dynamics said I can either leave a little bit of overhang or cut it completely out. He said either way is fine. More than likely I'll probably try to leave a little lip, and then it's going to be just about the same amount of welding, having to do, you know, the top edge of this and right here, and then blend it back. I know I said in the other video that the floors and the toe boards were good enough. We're just going to clean up all the seams that's been patched and re-weld. Now I'm kind of thinking it would probably be time, more so in favor of time, if I just cut this stuff out and replaced it versus cleaning up all those welds and then grinding everything down and then re-welding. If I cut it all out, then I got it cut out and I don't have to fiddle around. Steve up the road from me has some pan patches that he said he wasn't going to use. I'm waiting to hear back from him. And then we got a place here in town, Classic Chevy. I called them earlier, but no answer. I was going to see if they had toe boards. If they've got toe boards, maybe I'll just run over there in the morning and get them. But for now, slice this. I'm just going to take the Sawzall and cut through that and try to get these off in one piece, because if these were still attached, which this one's not, and this one is bent all to pieces, so it'll take some finagling, then I would probably just cut them off right here and leave them. But since I'm not on the chassis and these are kind of hanging out in space, I'm not 100% sure that's exactly where they need to go anyway, so may have to roll the chassis back under and reattach these. So I don't know yet. We'll figure that out. But I'm gonna drag the plasma cutter out and let's get some cutting done.
Competition Products, your source for hardcore engine parts for street, strip, and oval track. Our free catalog is packed with hundreds of product lines from the best-known manufacturers in the performance industry. Lowest prices guaranteed. Free shipping and handling on all orders over $149 in the continental U.S. Need expert advice? Our knowledgeable staff is just a phone call away. Competition Products, race parts sold by racers since 1970.
All right, I changed the fitting. It doesn't leak as much as it normally does, but it's the best I can do. Well, they say the first cut's the hardest, so like I said, I'm gonna leave this right here, sawzall that. So I'm gonna come on each side of it and then probably stay up above this bend right here all the way across best I can, and then leave this section. I don't know if I said that or not. And I was told to leave this section and just push it back out of the way. That way, when I go back to put my locations in, just fold this back and then I can cheat the system that way. And I realized I do not have a steering column mount last night, so I got to get one of those. And yeah, so I better leave this here for the time being. Alrighty. I just want to start out by saying mistakes have been made. Luckily, you can weld back to it, but yeah. So what happened was, I have no idea what I'm doing, so that's the main part. So I forgot this was the first step the guy at HotRod Dynamics told me to do, the very first step, and yeah, that was like the 14th step when I finally realized, oh yeah, I never got any material. So some of this was in the rafters and this was behind something. So, but you lay this on there to make sure it stays flat and it gives you something to hold on to. And then the old handy dandy screw jack saves the day again. So I can't visualize this sheet metal stuff. Like, I can't look at it and tell you this is where you cut. My brain just doesn't work that way. Or maybe it's just because my brain doesn't work. Or maybe my parents were cousins. I don't know, but there's just something about this that I can't get. But we're gonna have to add back to the car because I might have got carried away with the plasma cutter. So, and I was also on the phone for about 30 minutes with Jason Walker, who graciously spelled out every step of his way with this Firewall. And one of his big suggestions was to offset this 3/8 of an inch. It is currently 3/8 and some change because my drill walked. I've had it centered and I can tell how that remaining piece of the firewall where the master and the steering column goes, how those bolt holes are clearly in this section where they've put this tunnel or whatever, this recess in this firewall. Even then, I still have to do some screwing around with the pedals and get them over just a touch more. So I wouldn't think anybody would ever notice 3/8 of an inch with the firewall, but it's not like a screw up. There's a lot of logic in this. Last night, as I was not being able to sleep, I went back through pictures on HotRod Dynamics page, and I did not see this in the beginning, and the pictures are funny, like the way the tunnel and all, I don't know, it's an odd, I guess it's the angles, the radius, and the way the picture is, it's really hard to tell, hard for me to tell where to cut. So in one picture, it appears that they got most of the firewall cut out and left most of the transmission tunnel where the inspection plate is. And it kind of looks like if you took the firewall and you set it in the car at an angle, you could kind of mark where you go, where you cut, I mean. So I do have some fudge room as far as pushing this back. So I mean, I got a piece over here that's kind of holding me out, and there's only one screw in this. So I do have some fudge room by forcing it back, and I'll show you what the inside looks like. So you can kind of see where I got a little carried away here, and this is the piece that was suggested that I leave. And honestly, I could probably work with that where it's at. So I mean, it's not too bad. I don't even think I would move the pedals over unless I had to, because I'm just a touch more than 3/8 to the left, to the right. Yep, the other left. So, like I said, I got some fudge room to the back. So what I'm going to do is come in here and clean this up, and then clean all this up. That way, it's easier to make a patch for it instead of some crazy angles. Same way with over there. You can see I got some gap. And I'm guessing, I don't really know, that you trim this off. Once you get it welded from the inside, you just clean it up. Same way with this. I have no idea. I guess you could slice it and hammer it back. It's pretty well to the top of the cowl there. And I've had this thing screwed to it 3 or 4 times, but I can always weld those holes up. So I guess let me get the firewall back off the car and get the grinder out, the flap wheel, and start cleaning this mess up. All right, I got a rough mark. We'll clean this up. This little rib here, that's what's kind of keeping the firewall from getting pushed back, you know, flush against the rest of this. And then I'm just going to flap wheel this stuff up square and kind of clean all that up. Yeah, if you leave this attached, then you can get your holes marked or close enough idea to where they need to go. I probably should get the air compressor going, that way I can get in these smaller spots. But let's get to cleaning this mess up. All right, so that don't look so haggard. All right, so you kind of get the point. Just clean it up. I mean, I'm saying this like I know what I'm doing, but you see what I'm doing? Is that what I mean? I should probably have a respirator on or crack a door or something. But anyway, I'm just trying to make it as uniform as possible, even though it's pretty well hacked. I mean, I guess it could be worse, but there were some like little tabs, fold over tabs up here that needed to be ground off, and got these kind of straight. I'm gonna get the air compressor going and get the little mini flap disc out. This guy, it's so much more controllable. But I'm gonna continue cleaning. I gotta go around all this. Oh, while we're standing here, I got a new toy. Let's try her out. The old Eastwood surface condition tool. I think that's what they call it. I don't know, I've had it for a while. I think I got it back at Christmas or before Christmas or Black Friday or something. I don't know. But this looks more like a Scotch-Brite roll. And this one has like a flat disc in it. It is. It's got variable speed. So, and then it came with a holder or a wall mount, some sort of deal, but I don't know what I did with it. I don't even know where I'd put it if I did find it. But I think this thing, let's see what it does on this Firewall, because it's got some rough stuff, and this is a flap wheel, so let's see what happens. I'm gonna put it on 4. Heavy. This is the same sort of thing that Harbor Freight has, so you don't have to get it from Eastwood. Pretty sure Harbor Freight's drums will fit this too. But it's a robust rascal, I'll tell you that. But I'm gonna get to cleaning up and I'll get back to you. All right, to save you I probably have dirt all over me. I've been wearing actually wore a respirator today, so yeah, safety first this morning, because there's no ventilation in here, so it's just like I'm breathing everything. So if you're working in an enclosed shop, grinding and all that mess, wear some sort of breathing apparatus. All right, I've scooched the Firewall 3/8. For some reason, this irritates me to no end. I guess because I know it's not centered and I'm afraid I'm going to hit something here. And actually, it may be like 3/8 and a fudge, because I had my drill walk a little bit. But I can show you on the inside, it looks like I may have enough room for everything to bolt up without my inner bolts on the master or the booster hitting. Well, it would actually be I guess it's the mount for the pedal. It won't be in the way. So anyway, so it is scooched over. You probably will never be able to tell it. I spent, I don't know how much time grinding and cleaning and grinding and cleaning. Had it not been for these little tiny 2-inch grinding wheels, I can't imagine laying under that dash. I can't imagine laying under that dash with a 4-inch grinder. I was going to weld this video, but I don't believe I am, because I've found a little rust. I knew the rust was over here in this wiper cowl. There's some on this side, and it would be so much easier if the firewall wasn't there and I could just work through here. So much brighter and all that. But so let me take you inside and I'll show you all I've prepped and the new rust spots, and I'll share these measurements that I've come up with that may be real helpful for you later on. So from the corner of this to your kick panel area, you can make a 19.5-inch cut. At the top goes 17 1/8, and then from the back side of the firewall down is about 5 3/4. I don't really know how to tell you to get this radius, but it's about 1/4 inch thick here, and it really needs to be about 1.25 inches from the back side to your, if you measure off, and I'm measuring off of this inspection cover. So 1.25 inches from the back of the firewall to the inspection cover will keep you pretty flush, and 1/4 on each corner. This one's actually a little bigger than this one, but I'm not going to mess with it. And you know, one side should give you enough to figure out this other side over here. And then my pedal mount actually will work out. It's real close. It's like, I mean, it's cut here so I can kind of manipulate it over to set against that weld. But honestly, I feel like there's enough fudge room to leave it as it is. So on X, so I went through here and there was all this seam sealer, and I used a nylon wire wheel, a nylon wheel, and got most of it out. But I've been working all this up in here. You can see all that. And then over there is where I discovered the rust. So I'm gonna have to fix that. And got this spot over here. So not a big deal, but I don't really want to weld the firewall in just yet, knowing that I need to get in there and fix that, because I could work through the hole and I could just see so much better. But I'm praying that no, you know, nothing arises from off center in the firewall, but we'll deal with it when I deal with it. I also still have to make these little filler pieces here, and then there'll be some trimming left to do along the bottom and whatnot. But I guess we'll call it right there, and I'm gonna directly jump right into the next video on fixing the cowl, or the inner cowl. and start cleaning up some more welds and whatnot and make my filler pieces. And we'll just keep on keeping on. So thanks for watching Left 4 Dead Garage, and we'll catch you on the next one.